back to my kitchen. So for this week's video tutorial, I have a really pretty cake decorating idea for you. Now I'm going to be showing you how to make gum paste butterflies and showing you how I use them to decorate my butterfly cake. Now, if you enjoyed this video tutorial and you haven't already, don't forget you can subscribe to the Cake Spellings YouTube channel. You can also hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button, and this will just alert you every time a new video is uploaded. Okay, let's get started. In order to make the butterflies, all you're going to need is, first of all, I've just got my cutters. Now, these cutters are just by Patchwork, and I have some in various sizes, but you just need some butterfly cutters that maybe have some texture on them. I've also got my gum paste. Now, this is just floral paste by Squires, and I've got a white and a black. I've got 3 different colours of edible tints. So I've got a glacier blue, an ice blue and a Caribbean blue. I've got my edible glue and some really small stamen that we can use for the antennas on our butterfly. I've got some black food gel, my rolling pin, my craft knife, just some paintbrushes and a Dresden tool, or just something with a point on the end, my ball tool and my foam mat. And lastly, I've just got some pieces of card. Now, you can use card or you can use tinfoil, and this is just to help us get the shape for our butterflies when they're drying. So let's make a start on the butterflies. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just take some of my white gum paste and just roll that out until it's around 1 millimeter in thickness. I'm then going to pick up, this time, the larger of the butterfly cutters, and I'm just going to push that into my gum paste. Now, I don't want to go all the way through, but just enough so that we get that texture on the top. I've then got my craft knife, and I just want to cut around the edge of these wings. At the bottom, I want more of a rounded butterfly, so I'm just going to trim off an extra bit and do the same on the other side. Now, where the wings join onto the body of my butterfly, I'm just going to take my craft knife and just cut those from top to bottom to separate the wings. Now, I've got the texture on one side, but I also want the texture on the other side. So I'm going to bring back in my cutter and just line it up and push that down so that we've got the texture on the back and the front. Now, you can leave them just like this, but I just want to thin out that edge. So I'm going to bring in my foam board and my ball tool, and I'm just going to run that around the edge, just pushing slightly so that that outer edge will go into a point and be as thin as possible, which will make it look a lot more realistic. You don't want to push it too much that it starts to ruffle. So there we've got our 2 butterfly wings. The next thing to do is colour these. I've just got some of that glacier blue edible luster dust, the Caribbean blue edible tin, and also the ice blue edible tin. And I'm going to use these to colour my butterfly. So I'm going to start off in the front with some of the lighter blue and just work my way out, just getting darker as I go. And you just want to blend all those colours together until we're left with this really nice blue shade for our wings. Now, depending on the cake that you're making, you might just want to do one side, but I'm going to do both sides. So that whatever angle you look at the cake, you're going to see that colour. And I'm going to do exactly the same to the wing on the other side. Now, butterflies come in so many different colours, or you can just theme them to your cake. So you just want to pick some edible tints that match your theme. Okay, so once we've dusted off any excess, we're just left with our 2 butterfly wings. Now, the next thing to do is to add some black edging around the sides. Just got some black food gel, which I've just mixed with a small amount of alcohol just to make a paint. Now, I'm going to be using a really fine paintbrush, and I'm going to go in around the edge, just using the texture as a guide. Now, depending on the type of butterfly you're creating, you might want to go in with more black and go all over the different veins. But I'm just going to be going around the edge with these ones. Now, for some different styles of butterflies, you might want to add some white food gel and just add some white dots into the design. I'm just going around that edge. Now I'm going to do exactly the same for the wing on the other side. I then just want to leave these to one side to dry, just so that black isn't wet to touch. I can then turn these over and paint on the exact same design on the other side. So once that black has dried, I'm just going to flip them over and paint the exact same pattern along the edge on the other side. Now, if your butterflies are going against the cake and you won't be able to see the backs, then you will only need to paint the front. But as I am going to be having some of my butterflies slightly open so they look like they're sitting on the edge of the cake, I am going to paint both sides because we will be able to see it. Now, I'm just picking it up and just running my paintbrush along that edge, making sure it's completely black. Now, once your wings have all been painted, I'm going to leave these to one side so that that gum paste will set completely solid and has all dried out. We can then create the body of our butterfly and start to glue these into shape. So I've just got some black gum paste and I'm going to take a small amount of that, and this one is around pea size, and I'm going to taper down one side. Now the size that we're looking for once the wings are together is for the body just to come slightly above and below the space. I'm then going to take my Dresden tool, roll that in the palm of my hand to create a little head. I'm then going to put just small lines running down the body. Now for his antennas, I've just got the flower stamen and I'm going to chop off the ends, leaving around 1/2 centimeter. I'm just going to paint some of that glue on the end of that stamen and push that into the top of his head, and do the same on the other side. You then just want to color these black, so using the same paint as I used on the edge of his wings, I'm just going to paint those black. Now you have two options for the shape of your butterfly. You can either have it with the wings just slightly open, or you can have it so it's closed up and it looks like it's sitting. The first one I'm going to show you is with it slightly open. Now I've just got quite a sturdy piece of cardboard, but you could use a piece of tin foil or aluminium foil. And I'm going to fold this in half, and this is just going to give me a little template for the butterfly to sit in. So I want this one quite open, so I'm just going to have a slight bend on there. Now I'm going to bring in the pieces of my butterfly and just rest them on that cardboard. I can then pop some edible glue on those edges and just bring those together. Pop in a small amount of edible glue just in that center. I'm going to bring in the body of my butterfly and just place that on the top, pushing down slightly. So there we have the open butterfly. Now I'm going to leave this to one side. You might just want to prop the sides up, but I'm going to leave it until the glue has completely dried. Now the second option is to have the butterfly slightly closed. So I've got two more of the wings. Now again, I've just got a piece of cardboard which I'm going to fold in half, but this time I want it to be a lot more closed. Now previously I added the wings and then I added the body, but this time I want to add the body first. Now the reason for this is when it sits on the cake, I want the wings to look like they're slightly closed, so the body will be underneath against the cake. So I'm going to pop that inside the piece of card, take my Dresden tool and just push a groove into the back. Now just add in some edible glue along both of those edges. I'm going to sit them onto my piece of card. Now I just want to push these together. For this one, you want to keep your piece of cardboard quite closed up. So you can either pop something down the side, or you can just grab a piece of string or a piece of ribbon and just wrap it around. Just tie that in a little knot, and this will just keep its shape until that edible glue has dried. So we've got the slightly open butterfly and the closed up butterfly. Now the only different thing you might want to do is wire your butterflies. So I've just got a slightly smaller set of wings here, and I'm going to add the body in. Now I've just got a 24 gauge wire here that's been covered in this white paper coating. Now before I add all the pieces together, I'm just going to take my piece of wire and just pop a small amount of edible glue onto the end and push this into the back of the body of the butterfly. Now the wire is just going to come from behind and hasn't changed the shape of the body at the bottom, so it still goes into this point. So again, just as I did before, I'm going to pop some edible glue onto the edges of my wings and just pop that body in place. When it's dried, you're just going to have this wire coming out the bottom that we can use to attach it to our cake. So I've left my butterflies to dry, and we've now got these really pretty blue butterflies that we can add onto our cake. So I've just made a variety of sizes. I've put a few of them onto the wires, and I've got some that are open, some that are closed, and I'm gonna add these onto a cake. Okay, so I've got my 6-inch cake here, and this one just measures 6 inches in diameter and 5 inches high. I've covered this in fondant and just popped it onto a white drum board. Now I've got all my butterflies and I'm going to attach these to my cake. Now I'm going to attach them with a small amount of royal icing for the butterflies that are on the wires. These ones are covered in paper, but when you add these onto your cake, you could pop these into some flower picks, or you could also use some safety seal. Now this is just a food safe barrier. You melt it down and dip the end in, so it's nice and food safe for the wires to go into your cake. So I'm going to start with some of the butterflies on the front of the cake. Add a small amount of royal icing, just holding it until it's nice and secure. So here we have the finished cake with these blue butterflies flying all over it. I really hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and will enjoy making your own version of these butterflies. If you have enjoyed the video, as always, don't forget to give it a like so that I know. And if you'd like to see more videos like this and you haven't already, you can subscribe to the Cake Spanners YouTube channel. Also hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button, as this will just alert you every time a new video is uploaded. Now I will put a link in the description below to all the tools that I used in today's video. But until next time, bye!